The first few years of the 2000s were a fascinating time for pro wrestling. ECW and WCW had gone out of business, and this led to the birth of organizations such as Ring of Honor and TNA Impact. The Attitude Era fizzled out as the invasion angle began in the WWE, and a lot of top stars from WCW jumped ships to the WWE over the next few years. WWE also created multiple top stars during this time, with some of them going strong even today. The likes of Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, and John Cena all got their start in the early 2000s and have never looked back since. While some of these stars have continued to perform in a WWE ring, many of them have either retired from the wrestling business or have just moved on to different careers, and quite a few of them have been successful in their endeavors outside the ring. My name is John, and in this video we take a look at 10 popular wrestlers from the early 2000s and where they ended up today. During the early 2000s, the women's division in the WWE was stacked, with the likes of Gail Kim, Molly Holly, Victoria, Jazz, Lita, and Trish Stratus competing in various competitive matches. And while Lita and Trish were the most successful of the bunch, Victoria was one of the top female wrestlers in the company and held the women's title on 2 separate occasions. However, Victoria later got lost in the shuffle, and when WWE decided to go in a different direction with the Divas, Victoria retired from WWE and went to Impact Wrestling, where she won the Knockouts title on multiple occasions. Victoria left Impact Wrestling in 2013 and has since opened a wrestling-themed restaurant in Chicago. Victoria continues to make sporadic appearances on the indie scene and has since moved back to California. No one likes to be known as the guy that got famous for kicking a baby into the audience or being responsible for someone's miscarriage. However, Eugene Snitsky was that guy in WWE when he shoved Kane onto Lita, causing her to miscarry her unborn child. This resulted in a series of promos where Snitsky would deny that the miscarriage was his fault, while Kane and Lita sought retribution. As it turned out, a series of promos with Lita and Kane were his most prominent contributions in the company, and he was granted his release in 2008. Snitsky worked on the indie scene for a while and was later hired by Impact Wrestling, but that only lasted for 2 months. Since then, Snitsky has retired from the pro wrestling business and has tried his hand in acting. Like numerous other wrestlers, apart from appearing on various TV shows, he's also become a pitchman for Trister Products' Power Pressure Cooker XL, uploading a few videos on YouTube explaining how various food items can be prepared in this cooker. Currently, Snitsky is working as a landlord in Britain. In what was a case of at the wrong place and at the wrong time, Muhammad Hassan, who was one of the most hated heels since Sergeant Slaughter all the way back in 1990, was destined for greatness. However, a miscalculation on the creative team's part and a series of unfortunate events cut his WWE career short, and what was supposed to be his ticket to stardom ended with him getting fired from the WWE. Hassan played the role of an Arab American who was fed up with the prejudices and stereotypes existing in the United States, but his acting during an edition of SmackDown where masked men choked and battered The Undertaker gained national and international attention. The network SmackDown was on at the time pressured the company to permanently erase Hassan's character, leading to WWE parting ways with the star. Hassan hasn't competed in a wrestling match until days ago and has been working as a social studies teacher. In early 2004, Eugene made his Raw debut and was immediately placed in a storyline with William Regal. Eugene's character was that of a special and overly excited aspiring superstar, who was also Eric Bischoff's nephew. Eugene soon started working with the likes of The Rock, Triple H, and WWE fans started getting behind him and William Regal. Eugene was also part of a segment at WrestleMania when he got saved by Hulk Hogan, and during his first run with WWE, Eugene, while not winning any title with the promotion, was placed in feuds and matches with top stars. He was first released from WWE in 2007 for failing his second drug test, but was rehired by WWE in 2009, and again in 2013 as a trainer for NXT. Eugene was once again let go by WWE in 2014, and he has since been competing on the independent scene and even started his own promotion called Midwest All Pro Wrestling in 2015. Over the years, there have been many women in the WWE that wooed the fans with their sultry looks and their sex appeal. However, Stacy Keibler was able to capture the imagination of the fans because of her girl next door looks and her long and aesthetically pleasing legs to those who like them. Stacy won the contest in 2000 to become a part of the Nitro Girls and was signed by the WWE after WCW folded. She would then be placed in various storylines, and back in 2007 she decided to move on to other endeavors after coming third on the second season of Dancing with the Stars. Stacy also appeared on various TV shows, including Psych and How I Met Your Mother, and dated Hollywood star George Clooney for 2 years before marrying her longtime friend in 2014. She has a 3-year-old daughter and has been a devoted mother and wife, completely focusing on her family. Talking about women with raw sex appeal, Torrie Wilson was a favorite among the WWE fans during her run as a superstar. Much like Keibler, Wilson started her career in WCW and was immediately placed in an angle alongside Ric Flair and his son David. However, it was after signing with the WWE that the star really made a name for herself, and her rivalry with Dawn Marie is still considered to be one of the most outlandish and weird storylines in recent memory. Wilson also posed for Playboy twice, along with posing for FHM, and retired from professional wrestling in 2008 due to a back injury. Torrie has since launched her own clothing line and appeared on various reality shows. More recently though, Torrie appeared during the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match in January this year. It was in the best shape of her life. Wilson is currently working as a web-based fitness instructor and blogger. Molly Holly is considered to be a pioneer in the women's wrestling division and has helped numerous wrestlers in their journey. Holly started her pro wrestling career in WCW before signing up with WWE. As a part of the Holly cousin family trio, Molly aligned herself with Bob and Crash Holly and went on to capture the women's title on 2 different occasions, while also winning the hardcore title. One of the most memorable moments at WrestleMania came at WrestleMania 20 when Victoria shaved Molly Holly's head after their match for the women's title. Molly left the company in 2005 and has stated that she wanted to take a break from WWE and really wanted to take a chance to enjoy life with her family. Molly started competing on the Indies a couple of years later and returned to the WWE for one night during the Women's Royal Rumble match. After retiring from the wrestling business, Molly has worked as a landlady and is currently one of the lead coaches at the School of Pro Wrestling, a training facility started by former WWE star Shawn Daivari and Mr. Kennedy. In the mid-2000s, Edge became one of WWE's top guys, winning the WWE and World Heavyweight title multiple times. The Rated R superstar was one of the most successful superstars in recent memory, winning over 30 titles in a career that only spanned about 2 decades. Edge had to retire from pro wrestling in 2011 due to complications stemming from his neck injury, resulting in cervical spinal stenosis. Edge was also one of the few superstars to have retired while holding a world title, as he relinquished the World Heavyweight Championship upon his retirement. The Ultimate Opportunist has since starred in multiple TV shows in a lead role, and has also started his own podcast with his best friend, and former WWE star Christian, calling it the Edge and Christian Show that totally reeks of awesomeness. Edge married former WWE Women's Champion Beth Phoenix in 2016, and the couple have had 2 daughters together. While WWE likes to keep talking about the women's evolution, there were 2 wrestlers in particular that started the revolution in the company nearly 2 decades ago. When Trish Stratus signed with the WWE, she was placed in a managerial position, but as Trish started training to become a wrestler, she was booked as an in-ring performer, and made her debut in a mixed tag team match in 2000. She would win the WWE Women's Championship for the first time in 2001, and over the course of the next few years, she was involved in several high-profile matches, and her rivalry with Lita is generally considered to be one of the greatest of all time. Trish won the women's title a record 7 times and retired from pro wrestling in 2006. Since then, Trish has starred in various shows and even opened her own yoga studio named Stratosphere. Trish also gave birth to a boy and a girl and is currently married to her high school sweetheart. Of course, you can't mention Trish without mentioning Lita, and for years the 2 stars put on some fantastic matches, and along with Trish, Lita would revolutionize the women's division in WWE. Her athleticism and daredevil antics made her an instant fan favorite, and Lita would go on to win the women's title on 4 separate occasions, and along with Stephanie McMahon was one of the first 2 women in Raw history to close the show. Lita retired from WWE in 2007 to focus on her music career, and continues to contribute to WWE programming. Lita served as a color commentator during the Mae Young Classic, and returned to in-ring competition for one night during the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match earlier this year. And these are 10 popular wrestlers from the early 2000s and where they are now. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching Wrestling Hub, and I will see you later with more wrestling videos.